All right, everyone. Welcome again to Project and Portfolio 5 Artist Development. And in this video, we're going to take a quick look at your brand audit. So your brand audit, hello everyone, welcome to Project and Portfolio 5. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at your brand audit for this week's assignment. So for your brand audit, here is the document. So first, you're going to put your name, obviously, and the artist that you're working with this month. Then section 1, we're going to do a social media analysis. So we're just going to basically list all their social media platforms, the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and you're just going to answer all the questions here. How many followers do they have, and provide the links to all those platforms. Section 2, that's your content analysis. We're going to take a look at what kind of content are they currently posting. So here's the last 5 posts on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. You want to do the last 5. Don't just pick 5 at random. It's the last 5 they posted. And we want to see what type of content are they posting, right? So is it promotional? Is it a behind the scenes photo? Is it a live photo, behind the scenes video, a live video? Question to fans? Is it some kind of statement or just saying something? Is it a thank you? Is it some kind of message? Is it a link to a press write-up, or is it a video from a press interview? So here we're going to analyze what types of content are they posting. Then you're going to write a brief summary where you have some kind of conclusions and takeaways that you can make based on the type of content that they're posting and their fan engagement. Are the fans engaging with their content? Are they just liking it? Are they commenting on it? Or are they sharing it? What are they doing with the content? Or is there no engagement on the content? Then based on the analysis you did, what kind of suggestions would you make on how they can improve that content? So what can they do to make it better? If it's all promotional, you don't want to just promote, right? You want to offer value, and then throw a right hook. So offer value to your fans and value to your community. So what suggestions could you make to how your artist could offer maybe more value and how to increase their fan engagement? This next section is your target audience. And this is where you're going to have to provide some references on where you got that information from. Your target audience, that's going to be the demographics, psychographics, and just tell me a little bit about your audience, right? What kind of fan, what does your ideal fan look like? When it comes to age range, you want to have a 5 to 10 year age range. And how would they spend $100? Where do they hang out at? What types of places do they go to online to learn more about your artist, right? And then in this section, number 4, this is your artist ID. So here in this section, you have category 1, which is your A-list artists. So here you're going to give me 3 artists that are similar to your artist. You can find these artists on Spotify, on Amazon. So just let's say your artist is similar to Beyonce. Let me show you a quick look. So if you go to Spotify and you type in Beyonce, and if you go to related artists, this is a way to help you find more artists that are similar to Beyonce, for example, right? So, and then if you want to find some smaller artists, your next 2 categories are your emerging artists. So here you want to find, so this could be emerging, legacy acts, or people that are on a decline in their career. These are artists that are playing clubs that are 400 to 2,000 capacity that are similar to your artist. So again, you're going to look here, maybe you start towards the bottom. These are usually lesser known artists. Obviously, with someone like Beyonce, they're going to be pretty popular. So let's just say we're going to take American Authors. Not sure if you guys know who American Authors are, a really good band. So if you go to American Authors, now here you have a better sample, right? So if you know like one of your emerging artists, you can type that artist in, and then here you find a bunch of other artists that are similar. And that's a great way to put your list together. The one that's going to take some research and is a little tougher, that's your local and regional artists. These are your DIY artists. They're unsigned. They're probably at the same level that your artist is. They're trying to build their fan base and they're trying to make it, right? So those you're going to have to find maybe on places like Reverb Nation. So on Reverb Nation, you can search by location and look at location and genre. So there you can look at what artists are similar to your artist, sound wise, and are in the same region. So this list serves two purposes. One, this is a list of where you can find similar fans. So your A-list artists are probably where you're going to go and find similar fans that you can try to reach out to and offer value to, right? Not pitch to, not try to tell them, come listen to my music, come buy my song, come go to my website. You want to offer value. You want to create conversation with those people and offer them some kind of value to get them interested in your music. You always want to try to lead them to the music without you trying to send them directly to the music. Just create conversation. So that's where you find the ideal fans. Then when it comes to playing shows, you want to play shows with probably your local and regional artists and your emerging artists. So that's a great way to figure out who are some other artists that are in your region and in your area. Who could you open for the emerging artists, right? And that's how you start getting on people's radar. So if you start with the local and regional section, these are artists you can play shows with, put shows together with. So usually when you will learn this next week, when you pitch to a talent buyer or a promoter or a venue, you want to come with the entire show. You don't want to just have just your artist and hope they'll put a show together for you. You want to put the show together. So you find your local and regional artists, you put a show together, and now you go to the venue and you pitch that entire show. So the local and regional list will help you figure out some artists who you can put a show together with. Then your emerging artists. So yes, everybody wants to open up for the A-list artists, but that's not very realistic, right? Especially for an artist starting out. So in an ideal world, when this is something you do in real life, you want to make these lists at least 20 to 30 artists deep instead of just 3 at a time. And you can put all those artists in a spreadsheet. So column A would be the artist, column B would be, are they regional, local, are they emerging, descending, legacy, or are they an A-list artist? And list who every artist booking agent is. And if you see some common booking agents, so if you excuse me, see an artist on your A-list that also so if you see a booking agent on your A-list that also represents artists that are in your emerging artists or maybe even regional, maybe on those agents' radar, you want to get on their radar. So find their newer bands that they just signed and try to open up for their newer bands and obviously crush it, like try to sell a ton of tickets and do really well. And we'll talk about how often to play and getting those opening slots next week. But you really want to crush it, right? And get a lot of people out to those shows. And that's how you can start getting on a booking agent's radar. And we'll talk a lot more about touring strategy next week. So that's your artist ID. Then the next section is your elevator pitch. So in your first video, the branding video that you should have watched by now, you will learn how to put together your elevator pitch, right? With your 3 columns, your classic column, your contemporary column, and the words and phrases column. So I want to see the 3 columns on here on the assignment, and then I want to see the elevator pitch you come up with. Make sure it's unique, make sure it stands out, and make sure it's memorable. Some people are going to remember, right? Then the next step is identifying and prioritizing problems. So what problems do you see with your artists? It's not always all fun and games. There's going to be some issues. So what are those issues? Are they not posting enough? Do they not have a website? Do they not have enough content on their videos or on their SoundCloud? Do they do a poor job posting the type of content that they post? Is it all promotional? So you want to try to find some issues, prioritize those issues, and then tell me quick in a couple sentences what your solution would be to those issues. Then the last thing is your brand identity map. So again, here you want to think story. So you have your artist in the middle, right? And then you have 5 different attributes that make up your artist's story. So I only want to hear story on this part. So remember in the storytelling video, that first slide that you saw on all the elements that make up someone's story, that's one you want to think about. So think about attributes that make up your artist's story. So then that's your brand audit assignment. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. All my contact information is on the FSO platform. And if there's any other instructors, we'll make sure to include their information as well. And good luck on this assignment.